Good morning and welcome to our school board meeting. The meeting before the holidays, so happy holidays to everybody.
To you too.
We'd like to call this meeting to order. Do we have any amendments to the agenda?
Madam Chair, I have one amendment to the agenda. I'd like to call upon the board's attention on the consent agenda 11.2, page 29, requesting the transfer of Dr. Dallas Jackson, currently the principal of Johns Hopkins, to the manager of talent acquisition. And the reverse of that, Mr. Carlman Jones, who is the manager of talent acquisition, to the principal of Johns Hopkins. That concludes the amendments.
Thank you so very much. Regarding amendments to today's agenda, I find good cause to amend consent agenda item number 2 on page 29 to add the 2 administrative transfers that have just been described by Dr. Grego. Do I have a motion for the adoption of the agenda?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? We have our invocation this morning by Father Michael Strachan, I apologize, from St. Dunstan's Angelical Church. Following that, we have our Pledge of Allegiance, our national anthem, and we have with us a wonderful Countryside High School that's going to perform the national anthem, as well as the second song that will be introduced by their instructor. Please stand.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, when you created all things, you created humanity to be your image bearers, to bring your order and rule to creation. And today in this meeting, we reflect that rule and that order. We give you thanks for everyone gathered here today who would take out of their time and out of their lives to help improve the lives and education of the children of this county. We thank you for all the faculty and teachers of the schools who do the same every day and give more than we give them. We thank you for the students whose lives are entrusted to us, whose hearts and minds are shaped every single day by the decisions that are made here. Lord, I pray that you would pour out your Spirit on this meeting, that you would fill each member here with wisdom and insight and love, that the decisions made here would resound for the good of your people and this world and the children of this district, today and forever. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave
Thank you so much. My name is Christy King. I'm the Director of Choirs at Countryside High School. We're so thankful to be here today. We thank Pinellas County School District for inviting us out to perform at this meeting. And we'd like to leave you with a little holiday cheer. We have our holiday concert coming up this coming Tuesday, December 11th. And one of the pieces this group will be singing, our advanced choir, is Carol of the Bells. Enjoy.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they power, raising the sound, oh, in the dale, telling the tale. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of the cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong, that is the song with joyful ring, all carry along. Ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. One seems to hear words of the cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, oh, hill and dale, telling the tale. Gaily they ring while people sing songs of the cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong, that is the song with joyful ring, all caroling. Ding dong, ding dong.
Yes. Now we clap. That was absolutely fabulous. Thank you so very much to the varsity choir from our very own
Thank you.
Countryside High
Thank you.
School. And I do believe we have the principal here with us today, Principal Gary Schlereth. If you could wave. Thank you so very much for being here today. Okay, we now have an exciting piece of video for you. We had the opportunity to host the official dedication and ribbon cutting ceremony for the Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School on last Friday. It was truly a wonderful celebration with community leaders, representatives from the Pinellas County Education Foundation and the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation. But most importantly, it was the students of Jacobson Technical High School's inaugural class. Here are just a few of the insights and sounds from such a historic event.
We're creating a legacy here that more and more students will be attending the Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School in the future.
Mr. Jacobson is all about technical and trade, and knowing that not everybody needs to go to a four-year degree for college, and a lot of people can contribute and do things with their hands and their minds that need more of a technical approach to them.
It's been a real long time coming, and this school has had a long history in Seminole, from early days in the 60s of what's been affectionately called the Ag Farm, all the way to a full service high school now, and it's been quite an evolution, and it's a wonderful day. The building looks fantastic.
Our foundation has been in existence for over 30 years, and this is just a really important moment for the foundation to have another foundation make a contribution to us of this magnitude of $5 million. Really says that there's a belief that the Pinellas Education Foundation can do good work, and our ability to be a part of this momentous occasion of opening up the Richard O. Jacobson High School is just a really proud moment in the history of our foundation.
This is very exciting for me because, you take a person that comes into your company and applies for a job and he doesn't have the skills. Well, we'll train that person, but there's a cost of doing that. He starts at a much lower wage, and then as he grows with our company, he may make a higher wage. A person coming out of Jacobson Tech will walk into my building and he'll sit down immediately, certified to the skill that he has, and start at a high pay, insurance, profit sharing, and all the things that come working for a big business. So that's the exciting part about it. They don't come out with an A or a B, they come out certified to a skill. And that's the most exciting thing of all.
So we're here to celebrate two things this morning. First, the opening of this extraordinary facility, and second, the generosity of the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation and Mr. Jacobson's commitment to education.
Mr. Jacobson's legacy, what he did prior to his passing and now what his legacy is doing is just tremendous. The foundation is doing a great job of carrying that out. They recognize where his passions were, and certainly career education, technical education was part of that. But they're such an easy foundation to work with and recognize that they want to put the dollars back to the kids. And so they've been fantastic. They've been great.
I see it as a great opportunity for the students and also for the business community in whole. And I mean, you know, they're going to have, looks like about 8 different categories of education here and technical education, and I'm sure they'll add to it, and I'm very excited about it, yes.
On behalf of every student here, we would like to thank you for this gift because it gives us the opportunity to get an outstanding education and a beautiful future. We know that this will not only affect all of us, the one and only inaugural class of Jacobson Tech, but the future generations of students to come. Thank you.
You want to comment or you want me?
Yeah.
Dr. Grego?
Either way. Thank you, Madam Chair. I placed at your seat area the Pinellas Educational Foundation, their newsletter on this event, just for your review. So I was going to bring it up later, but I think this is a very appropriate time. So thank you very much for your attendance, your support with Pinellas Educational Foundation, and this board's support over the last several years of making this more of a part-time program to a full-time, fully fledged technical high school. Students, teachers, the community, they're very, very excited about your approach to this project. So thank you.
And a special thank you as well to former school board member Linda Lerner, who was able to attend and stand with us and cut the ribbon. Thank you also to school board member Joanne Lentino for being present and supporting the event. To Mr. Denadell, who came down from the Richard O. Jacobson's Foundation all the way from Iowa to present us with such a wonderful gift. To Ms. Giancola and to all of the support staff. It was a wonderful day. The weather was beautiful. We couldn't have asked for a more precious day. But more importantly, the students were there in full force. Over 300 currently enrolled, and I think we can go up to 600 for student support and participation. So I'm looking forward to the graduating class and all of the wonderful things that they'll be able to contribute to our community. So thank you so very much. Thank you. And so now we will move on with our introduction of professional and community organizations, led by Ms. Lisa M. Wolf, our Public Information Officer.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Grego and staff, it is my pleasure to introduce the following representatives of community and professional organizations. Representing the Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association, Nellie Henyes. With the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association, Mike Gandolfo. Representing the Pinellas County Council of PTAs, Cindy Ehrenzeller, as well as Reagan Miller. And today we will have a presentation from the Student Rights and Responsibilities Committee. Please welcome from Countryside High School, Stephanie Becerra. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Stephanie Becerra, and I am from Countryside High School, here to share with you a few positive things about our school. Thank you to our chorus and their director, Ms. King, for singing the Star Spangled Banner and the holiday song to start the meeting. The 2018-19 school year has started with many things happening to keep us busy at the school level. First, I would like to mention that Countryside High School earned a B grade on the state grading system, and congratulations to all involvement to make this happen. Our on-track graduation program is built to help raise the graduation rate. The vision of this program is to enable Countryside staff to work together with parents and students in personalizing learning and to create a school-wide culture of high expectations for all students. We strive to work together as a school to utilize every resource possible to ensure that each student has been provided with every opportunity to meet the state of Florida graduation requirement on time. Some of the best things about this program are the on-track check and the connection mentoring for all off-track seniors, where they can receive guidance to help them get back on track, and progress monitoring and interventions. A similar system to have recently been implemented is a positive behavior program called ROCK, which provides incentives for students who demonstrate the behavior expectations of being responsible, on time, cooperative, and kind. Countryside High School is proud to host many after-hours events with aims of benefiting students, including Teen Dating 101, the Pinellas County Schools Homeless Project, and the College and Career Fair. The Teen Dating 101 is an outstanding community improvement program and is recognized by Pinellas County Schools, by the Florida PTA, and by the Florida Department of Education. Our 10th annual College and Career Fair was held on October 1st, 2018. Over 1,200 attendees packed Countryside High School to see college, technical school, military, and business organizations at the 9th annual PC College and Career Fair. From students to parents or guardians and job seekers, it was a night for networking and career discovery. Dignitaries in attendance offering continued support included Superintendent Dr. Grego, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Corbett, and the Pinellas County School Board officials. Thanks goes out to Countryside High School and a team of volunteers on the Countryside Career Advisory Board, led by Director Kathleen Lamb, who planned the event. Each year, the team recruits major employers, military recruiters, tech schools, and colleges from across the state and nation, including 10 big schools. With 100+ booths, time was the essence of during 2 hours for attendees to move rapidly through the concourse. Exhibitors range from Trinity Pet Hospital to Ready for Life, Pinellas County Schools Guidance Specialists, Safety Harbor Public Library, SPC, Technical College, and others. If you ask youth, families, and exhibitors about the venue, it is ranked in satisfaction because it is a life changer. So it is no surprise that the Florida Tours and Pinellas County School Administration endorsed the annual career fair as one of the most prestigious in Pinellas. The Countryside Cougar Career Center and Career Advisory Board continue to change lives through the fair, which generates proceeds for the Countryside High Senior Scholarship. Due to these two trend-setting programs and their on-campus Countryside Cougar Career Center, the Countryside Advisory Board received special recognition in 2017. Another highlight of our school is the Cougar Closet, which assists low-income students by offering homecoming and prom dresses for students in need. The clothes are from community donations, and the program is directed by our volunteer coordinator, Ms. Muscaro. Another example of our connection with the community is a recent generous donation from a 1986 graduate, which paid out any outstanding lunch debt from this year. This proves that Countryside spirit remains with many of our alumni. The Banner Project has addressed a diverse population at our school as we create an awareness. Schools, clubs, and organizations purchase a wall banner for $60, identifying their group, and the banners are displayed on the concourse walls. Students will have a sense of unity when they see their group represented. This is a project of the Art Club. Our community service continues to rise above our expectations, with an evidence from the Relay for Life this past spring, raising over $20,000 this year, and with an 8-year total raised for cancer research over $306,000. We are extremely proud of our career academy, which includes 2 strands, the Center of Computer Technology and the ISTEM, which stands for the Institute of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. The Center for Computer Technologies program prepares students for employment or advanced training in a variety of occupations in the information technology industry. Students will be able to earn nationally recognized industry certifications such as CompTIA Plus, Network Plus, Server, as well as Microsoft Office Specialist, Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Dreamweaver, and Adobe Flash. Students in this program have competed for designing logos for a local library, winning first place. As a result, the local community has asked our students to design another logo for a community project. iSTEM is a magnet application program designed for students with strong skills and interests in the STEM fields. The strands are cybersecurity, digital, and biotechnology. Industry certifications since 2008 within the Center for Computer Technologies and iSTEM have included 3,245 industry certifications awarded. The iSTEM Academy has been awarded an Academy of Distinction by the Pinellas Education Foundation. This past year was the 4th graduating class for the iSTEM and CCT programs, with 100% of the students attending college or the military. The iSTEM students have an average weighted GPA of 3.997, and the CCT programs have an average weighted GPA of 3.11. 13 of the students in the career academies graduated in the top 10% of their class, and their salutatorian for the class of 2018 was an academy student. Advancement via Individual Determination, also known as AVID, is a program designed to prepare capable students in the academic middle to participate fully in college preparatory curriculum through tutoring, mentoring, study skills, instruction, and peer group support. AVID students have a desire to achieve more. AVID students are working towards their academic and college goals. Our AVID students are in AP, dual enrollment, and honor level courses and are willing to put in the extra work to be their best selves. The CHS AVID family works collaboratively every day in order to maximize the high school experience. All AVID students need to maintain a minimum of 2.5 or a higher GPA. Freshmen must be at least in 1 honors course, sophomores must be at least in 2 honors level courses, juniors must be at least in 1 AP or dual enrollment course and in an honors level class. Another unique program offered at Countryside is our Active Child Care program, where students are offered the opportunity to take the state exam each year and can gain experiences working with the on-site child care center. The National Honor Society, our current NHS members, are a group of Countryside highest achieving students in the senior class. They help keep our schools clean by taking care of the recycling once a week and offer help by doing after-school tutoring once a week. The board is now working on current and future service projects like volunteering at local elementary schools and the beach cleanup. We have just inducted 86 new members last Thursday evening. As for our athletic teams, the girls' JV volleyball was undefeated this fall. In swimming, we had a member from the boys' swimming team. Joey Burns placed 8th in the 50 free and 7th in the 100 free in the state meet. A member of the boys' cross team, Alec Latsky, was the PCAC champion. Tony Berberia was a state champion in wrestling. Last school year, we were honored by one of our teachers, Miss Ann McNichol, as a top 10 finalist for Teacher of the Year, and this year one of our support staff, Miss Casey Ivory, has won her category and is in the top 5 of Support Employee of the Year. Thank you for your time and for allowing me to highlight a few great things about our school.
I want to give a special thank you because it's nervousness enough when there are several of you up there. You were up there presenting by yourself today. So thank you so much. You represented your school extremely well. Thank you. Moving on to our special order agenda, recognition of the 2018 Florida Association of School Psychologists. Dr. Grego.
Yes, Madam Chair, it gives me great pleasure whenever one of our employees is recognized on a statewide basis to bring forward to this board the 2018 Florida Association of School Psychologists Outstanding Administrator of the Year Award. And to present that, I'd like to call upon Donna Sicilian, the Executive Director of Student Services. Donna?
Certainly. Good morning, Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Grego, and staff. I am absolutely thrilled to be up here today to present to you yet another student service employee that has received statewide recognition. So Mike Cowley, who's humbly standing behind me, is our managing officer of school psychologists, and he has been so for the past 3 years. Prior to that, he's worked in our district as a school psychologist since 2006, which is basically his whole career because he's the age of my son. So it's like, it's been great. I feel very motherly towards Mr. Cowley. As I thought about what I wanted to share with you about him, I thought the best thing to do was to read to you some excerpts from the nomination that granted him this award because it was written by his staff. And so these are the team he leads words about his work. It says he has worked tirelessly to ensure each and every psychologist within our department feels satisfied and secure within Pinellas County Schools and our department, which speaks volumes, I'll add, because school psychology is a critical shortage area across the nation. And for the first time, we have had a fully staffed psychology department since Mr. Cowley's tenure. They go on to say he does all of this with a smile on his face and embraces feedback and constructive criticism. Mike is an example of what a leader should be, one who manages several different personalities, close to 100 to be exact, all of the varying needs of those individuals and personalities, manages an entire department, advocates for each and every member of his team, and does it all with little assistance. You never feel as if you have to go into a sticky situation alone. You always feel as if you will be taken care of, and you are happy to come to work every day because you know you have an amazing leader who has your back. So with that, I'd like to let Mr. Cowley say a few words to you about his work.
Thank you, Donna. Madam Chair, Dr. Grego, board members, I want to thank you all and all of our district leadership for your continued support of psychological services and the work that we do. I'm grateful to be a part of student services under the direction of Lori Matway and Donna Sicilian, where I get to work every day on a multidisciplinary team with other amazing leaders. More than anything, I am honored that this award has afforded me the opportunity to stand before you and to publicly thank each and every school psychologist and educational diagnostician on my team who are out there right now, like they are every day, doing the very good work to advance the mental health, wellness, and learning of all students in our district. I am so proud of all of them. I hope you are as well. And really all of the recognition and praise that you have should go to them. So thank you again for this opportunity. I hope you have a great meeting and welcome to our new members.
Congratulations, and we do have an amazing team, Moving on to public comments on agenda items. Ms. Simonetti, do we have any assigned speakers?
Board members and Dr. Grego, we have one speaker this morning on specific agenda items. Mark Clutho will speak to consent number 9, consent number 10, and non-consent number 1.
Mark Lutho, Largo. Here we have windows replaced, and the street strategic direction says learning in a safe environment. So are these bulletproof windows? How safe does it make the building? What did you do here? And at Tarpon Springs High, you also say you've made it a safe environment. What did you do there to make it safe? You know, You maybe have seen the headlines of what is coming. Not going to be pretty. So there are things that you could do to make a building that would make for a safe environment. And I don't have any kind of print in front of me, but I can make a statement without a doubt that these aren't really safe environments. In fact, they're going to make it less safe. We'll get into that more later. And this agreement with the U.S. Special Operations Command Warrior Care Program, the strategic direction, effective and efficient use of resources. I don't know how you see that one. Did you see that editorial in the New York Times after the audit was completed of the U.S. military? Oh, it's a good one. It's good. So it shows a cannon with the dollar bills flying out of it. Almost makes me think of this place.
Do we have any more speakers? Do we have any unfinished business? Okay, just for our newer members, this would be the time if you would desire for something to be pulled from the consent agenda so that you can discuss it further if you wanted to do so. So I just wanted to kind of add this piece so it will help you along until you got a little bit more comfortable and familiar. So if there's any item on the consent agenda that anyone would like to pull at this time for discussion before I call for a motion to approve the full consent agenda. Okay. All right. So do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Moving on to our non-consent agenda. Non-consent agenda item number 1, request approval of the agreement with the United States Special Operations Command Center. Dr. Grego?
Yes, this is an item I wanted to highlight to the board and mostly to the community because I think it is an efficient use of our resources. And the fact that we can partner with the Special Operations Command Center in terms of allowing us to host or allowing them to use our facilities for an annual sports camp at no cost for them and just to honor the veterans of our community. So I want to ask and thank Mr. Herbeck for putting this together and allow him to bring some highlights to the board and to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Grego. Madam Chair, board members, it is with great pleasure that we bring this agreement to you today. The Department of Defense began the Warrior Games back in 2010, and they provide an opportunity for soldiers who have been wounded in battle or while on active duty to participate in adaptive sports to aid in their recovery and their rehabilitation. And the Warrior Games are set up kind of Olympic style, and they bring in teams from around the world, and I'll cover some of those teams coming in a little bit. But these athletes prepare for their games either at military bases around the country or through these sport camps that are usually generally located close to military bases. In our case, it's MacDill Air Force Base with Central Command and the Special Operations Division over there. This request that you have in front of you today is to allow the Warrior Care Program, which operates the games, to use our facilities for their sports camps, for events such as wheelchair basketball, a lot of track and field, and other events, and there's too many to list, but I do know that, again, it is Olympic style, so you can kind of imagine all of the things that they have the athletes participating in. You may have also seen last week, I know our communications department shared a story with you about a student at Eastlake High School that the Department of Defense already has an agreement in place with us for that school to use their school for wheelchair basketball and track and field. This agreement takes it district-wide. And the importance of that is that in 2019, in fact, this coming June, the Warrior Games will be held in Tampa. They've been held across the country before in places like San Diego. I think recently they were held at the U.S. Olympic Training Facility in Colorado Springs. This coming June, they will be held in Tampa. So we will have athletes coming from literally around the world that are involved in warrior care programs from countries including the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, as well as the 4 branches of service, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and then a special team made up of special operations. And all of these athletes, again, will be coming to the Tampa area. They'll be using our facilities for those last-minute preparations for the Warrior Games. We already have employees, and as you saw in the story last week, we have students who are involved and have already expressed interest in helping, whatever they can do to help these athletes prepare for those games. So I know that as we get closer to June, we'll see more and more about it in the news, and I know that it'll be an exciting time for everybody. But again, we're very proud to partner with them. I'd like to say a special thank you to our real estate department, Kelly Fashe and Charlene Beyer. They worked very closely with MacDill and Special Operations Command over there to set up this agreement. And again, it is a no cost to Special Operations and to the Warrior Games. They've agreed to schedule things when we already have staff on duty. We've already reached out to them and shared with them. We have volunteers that if they need to go over that time, we're very confident that we'll have volunteers to go in and still manage our facilities while keeping it low or no cost to them at all. So again, it's with great pleasure we bring this agreement to you, and I think it's something positive not only for those athletes involved, but for our students, our employees, and the community as a whole.
Thank you, Mr. Herbeck, and I thank the board for your consideration of such an important endeavor.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? All right. Well, thank you so very much for that presentation, and hopefully it will be at no cost because these persons really have served to protect those of us that are not serving in the military. So hopefully we'll be able to keep it there. Do we have a motion and a second to approve this non-consent agenda item? And a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to new business, items introduced by the superintendent.
Madam Chair, I too want to welcome our new board members to the first official board meeting, and also to our re-elected chair. Greetings to all of you. I certainly look forward to working with our returning board members and our new board members to formulate and to continue on with what I think is one of the strongest school boards in the state of Florida. So thank you very much for your service. I want to begin my comments today in honoring one of our own, and that's Michael Vigu, who was honored recently in the community from the Omega Psi Phi fraternity for an Outstanding Achievement Award recently, and the contribution, what he's contributed to this community as a whole, as a principal, and also beyond the walls of the Boca Ciega High School. Also want to, at your desk area, I had placed the top 10 finalists. You saw these, I believe it was covered in the newspaper too. Also the 18-19 Teacher of the Year finalists, along with the Support Employee of the Year finalists. I know our student from Countryside was highlighting Miss Ivory, who is one of the finalists from Countryside High School. But I want to thank you for the support of the recognition of teachers. This year we had a nominee from all of our sites. 100% of our sites nominated a teacher. We have over 130 nominees. For this, the Pinellas Educational Foundation is creating an environment at the Mahaffey Theater on Monday, January 28th, that will be solely for teachers. Those of you who have been to this program in the past, you know that it was shared with business awards and teacher awards. It's been kind of a dual thing. we have grown the teacher recognition so fast and so far between is that, as you know, tomorrow's Changemaker Breakfast will be the breaking off of that, and we're going to be recognized the business partners tomorrow at the St. Pete Marriott. So, and thank you for those who are able to attend that tomorrow. So the evening at the Mahaffey will be solely for teachers. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be kind of like Academy Awards for the teaching profession. We will recognize not only the finalists, but all of the nominees throughout our district. And so you have that. For the support employees of the year, the semifinalists, as you see, were announced. We had over 106 nominees, and the finalists fall into the categories, 5 categories: classroom support, clerical, food service, maintenance, safety, health, transportation, and plant operations. And I love this format because our support employees range such a wide scope of job responsibilities that when we went to this 5 categories, we're able to recognize everyone no matter what their job task is equally. This will be a luncheon that will be hosted at the Feather Sound Country Club on January 11th, and this certainly will be on your calendar. So we want to thank all of our support employees, the nominees, the finalists, and alongside of them, the Teacher of the Award nominees and finalists. This past Saturday, we had one of the most successful Pinellas Talented Identification programs to date. I want to thank Mr. Hendrick, Dr. Hines, Judy Vigu, and many of the other staff. We were all out there. So my staff was out there on Saturday just greeting parents. We started this program in 2012-13 when I first arrived with about 240 7th graders sitting for the SAT. This past Saturday, we had just about 1,000 7th graders sitting for the SAT. We conducted parent information sessions with guidance counselors and such at 5 of our middle schools. Our 5 middle schools are approved by the College Board, thanks to Judy Vigu and many others, so that our 7th graders can go into a more nurturing environment than perhaps going to the high school and taking it with high school students. I'm very proud of this initiative, and I can say to you, I think I sent a parent, I was touched by a memo that a parent sent, or an email that a parent sent to me. I forwarded it to the board members. Sometimes you folks get these different emails that are, there's some positive, some negative. I wanted to send you one that a parent just I met at Seminole Middle School said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I received, as well as staff did, many a thanks because this is something that our community recognizes we don't have to do, but we choose to do it because we choose to elevate our students. So kudos to so many of staff, not only in the middle school, but high school levels, elementary school level. These types of events don't happen in 7th grade only, but rather we're growing students all the way from elementary through high school. We're also going to embark upon something I'm very excited about tomorrow. It's one issue and a concept that Mr. Hendrick and staff has also developed. It's called Learning from the Best, and it's an event that's convening some of our most amazing teachers. All of our teachers are amazing, but those teachers that have had tremendous success, where Mr. Hendrick and Dr. Evans are bringing together 75 teachers and principals from 45 different schools to discuss and to share strategies and practices that have resulted in high levels of student achievement. We talk about sharing those practices, and what better way of taking a focus group of 75, which is a large group, breaking them out. We're going to be taking a look at 3-year trend data of where teachers and principals have seen some real high performances in their students. We're going to take a look at the English language arts and mathematics achievement to start off, but we are going to expand into other subject areas. It's not only about those 2 subject areas. And so I want to thank the Assessment, Achievement and Research team that have compiled these strategies that we're gathering. But I think the real power in this is the discussion that we're going to have tomorrow. And I think it's a great start for our district to embark on such an initiative. We are going to expand this, as I mentioned, Learn from the Best, that will focus on other content areas, perhaps in the arts and many other subject areas. We need to continue to share and to learn from one another. This is as mentioned from our chair, our last meeting right before the holiday break, and I even wrote, and I'll be meeting with our principal leaders this Thursday. The semester went extremely fast. It's not over yet, though. I remind everyone we still have 3 more weeks of solid instruction. But I also want to share some of the highlights, the implementation of the personalized learning pathways that we did this semester. It was a huge success. Implementation of restorative practices across this district, huge success. Bridging the gap, where we have closed and narrowed that gap in 5 of the 6 areas. We've presented in national conferences at the Council of Great City Schools. We've trained staff and implemented, we sometimes think very quickly through the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Act and the tremendous amount of work that had to happen this first semester that we, and along with Mr. Herbick and staff, have absolutely accomplished. What Donna Sicilian has brought to this district of expanding the Sandy Hook Promise into Pinellas County has rippled through this district, and I hear from parents about the positive nature of building strong character in their students is a much better way of going about ensuring safety at our schools. And introducing new district apps for mobile phones to ensure parents and students are communicated with at their fingertips. And receiving multiple awards for our district and the Tarpon Springs Fundamental Elementary School, National Blue Ribbon in Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago, the Ridgecrest Elementary School Exemplary Magnet Program, Bel Air Elementary School, the Florida Power Library Sciences, 16 of our schools named healthiest schools out of 22 in the state this semester, and 10 high schools named for the Academies of Distinction by our own Pinellas Educational Foundation. And perhaps one of the really enlightening ones that we were going to continue to grow is 4 of our schools were selected by the Kennedy Center Partners in Education, thanks to Jeannie Reynolds and many others. That's Sandy Lane, Eisenhower, Dunedin, and Leela Davis Elementary Schools. And we're excited about this partnership. And several teachers and administrators received, as you saw today, state and national recognition. So we are looking to the future. We're looking to this year 2019. It's hard to even say in terms of that, but to celebrate those things that we've accomplished, but really challenge ourselves to continue to improve. So with that, I wish each and every one of you as board members and to our employees, even though I'm going to preface that with we have a lot of work to do before the holidays, but being that this is the last board meeting, I want to wish everyone a blessed, safe, restful, and productive holiday season, and be rested to come back and have an even better second semester than first. So thank you, Madam Chair, for the time.
Thank you. Items introduced by School Board Attorney.
Madam Chair, I have no report for the board today. Thank you.
No report. That's our Christmas gift. Items introduced by board members. Board members, if you, I'm going to call you. Ms. Latino, you wanted to? Okay. I'm going to call if you want to press your light if you would like to say something, so for the new members. Ms. Latino?
Yes, thanks very much. Well, good morning, everybody. It's kind of a skeletal crowd here today, but the Lilleman Asian Community Center held a Thanksgiving dinner, and I was very happy to have been invited. It was attended by standing room only, and Commissioner Charlie Justice was there, and so was Nick Brickfield with his pal drummers. That was really an exciting event, and the catering from the Orange Blossom Turkey was delish. It was the best turkey I ever ate. On my Thanksgiving break, I headed off to Miami Beach for a nice break and had dinner with a former Rockette at her home. And I also spent time at the Bass Museum visiting great exhibits. And the Bass Museum, for those of you that you may not know, has recently been redesigned. And it's a very contemporary museum now. I also made an appointment with the Lutheran Family Services Director, Heather King. I met Heather when she made an announcement at the Community Alliance meeting that was held at the Oldsmar Library. There is a shortage of foster homes in Pinellas County, and the social workers are managing as best as they can, monitoring the children who are brought to the Lutheran Services and the Eckerd facility over on Ulmerton Road. I also have committed to volunteering in their offices, and if anyone has time to volunteer, please contact Heather King. And Heather King's phone number is 727-434-0800. This is a critical need in our county because our families are not qualifying for stepping up and being foster parents. These children are taken over to Pasco County for a sleepover in the evening. The children stay in the social service offices throughout the week because they are not placed in any homes that are qualified for the children to be staying with their families as a foster child. I attended the Women in the Arts at Raymond James. A featured artist, and this is, I think, very important to note, Carrie Jadis was a graduate of Gibbs High School, and she spoke very specifically about her work. She does large murals, and she also does large format paintings, especially in the downtown area of St. Petersburg. I ride my bike along the trail when I go downtown towards the Tropicana Stadium, and there's a huge exhibit on one of the walls of the offices down there that has a picture of Mr. Tesla, who is featured very pronounced on that mural. I did attend the Richard O. Jacobson dedication at Tarpon Springs High School. The renovation was outstanding, and there were so many people in attendance. It was really a pleasure to be there, and Eileen Long was there as well. I was volunteering at Gulfport Elementary kindergarten class, which is a great opportunity to see how our kiddos are doing. And on Friday, I went to the dedication of the Richard O. Jacobson Tech High School at Seminole. Ms. Giancola, the director, led a well-deserved ribbon-cutting ceremony, and my hat's off to her. She's really got this school under control, and she's very proud of the facility that she's in. I was also invited to speak at the Winter Wonderland in Clearwater. Such a great display of lights, games, drumming by the Police Athletic League, and Santa Claus, of course. You know, we have to have Santa Claus in the Winter Wonderland. And yesterday I spoke to the Women's Democratic Upper Pinellas group at the Royal Palms in Largo. They asked me to speak about the state of our schools, and I did. And there was an article this morning about Mr. Romano's article this morning, and he was very specific about some language that was floating around in our contracts, and I believe that Mr. Romano was very concerned about some of the language that we wanted to have changed in the contracts of our of what was being presented from the board and also from the school district and the Pinellas County Classroom Teachers Association. So hopefully we'll get that all worked out. And also, it has been a privilege to represent the children, the parents, and teachers and support staff in the Pinellas County schools. And with that, I thank you very much.
Thank you. I have Ms. Nicole Carr.
I just wanted to express my gratitude as a new school board member to staff and to my colleagues for making this transition a smooth transition. As we leave the campaign trail and move into the roles and responsibilities of a school board member, there's a lot to learn, and I appreciate all the guidance and support that I know I will continue to receive from our staff. And I also wanted to thank our community for reaching out to us. As we all know, there are many things on the forefront and decisions that we will have to make, and it's important that as a school board member, to me, that I represent you. And so I greatly appreciate your reaching out, expressing your concerns, communicating to the board, and letting us know what issues are key and important to you. So thank you very much, and I look forward to a fantastic term.
Thank you. Any other comments? Well, I just have a couple. Thank you so much for those of us that were able to attend the Florida School Board Association conference on last week. It was a very busy time, a lot of learning, a lot of sessions. I really enjoyed the variety of sessions they had this year and the topics and the way that those topics were presented. I thought this was one of the better conferences that I've been to since I've been an elected school board member. I was very intrigued with the presentation that I went to that was presented by Orange County regarding CTAE and workforce training. And it was so interesting because a lot of what they were talking about that they've begun to do, we're already doing. And so, of course, I had to give PCSB a little shout out in the training. But along those lines, Eileen and I attended, of course, the legislative session on Tuesday. And one of the things that we added to the agenda for one of the platform items was dealing with supporting workforce training and workforce programs, not just supporting them, but asking that they be funded appropriately and accordingly. So that did not come before us when Eileen and I read off the last legislative report from when we met right outside of Kissimmee, but it was unanimous to go ahead and add that to the session. One of the reasons being it is on the forefront of the incoming governor. He made those comments along the campaign trail during his transition team. Currently, he's weaving that into his platform, if you will. So we thought it certainly would be something that could be supported because no one is against it. And the other is, quite frankly, because all counties are moving towards enhancing their technical trade component pieces for their students. So it just makes sense all around. So it passed unanimously. So we'll have 5 items, 5 target items for our legislative agenda through the Florida School Board Association. That is totally different than the legislative items we have as a district. I'm going to be featured in the Family Blessing. For those of you that remember the chocolate nutcracker some years ago, and now it's named the Family Blessing. So I made my appearance for the first time last year as Auntie Nene, and they did not send out the hook to pull me off. So they invited me to come back. I'm gonna try it again. So the performance is Saturday. Normally they've had 2 performances, but costs affect everyone. So we're only having 1 performance. It's at 7:30 p.m. this coming Saturday at the Mahaffey. So if you are looking for something to do that is family oriented and fun, and it supports the Dole Dundee dancers, it also supports their after school mentoring and tutorial program. So if you would like to come out, please do come and enjoy the performance. You can purchase your tickets online, or you can purchase your tickets when you get there. No seat is a bad seat in the Mahaffey. One other thing is Senator Roussan sent me an email regarding his committee assignments. And so he has some pretty important committee assignments. He's vice chair of banking and insurance. He serves on the Appropriation Committee for Health and Human Services. He serves on the Appropriations Committee for Criminal and Civil Justice. He serves on the Appropriations Committee, which is the committee that gets all of the bills in the end and lines up their funding. And then he serves on the Health Policy Committee. So 3 of these are areas that we venture into. So we always go in and see Senator Roussan. He always makes time for us when we're up there. I know we will be having our breakfast meet with them. So if you could think of anything that you want to talk about that enhances or touches on any of these areas, you'll have that person in the room. I didn't get the committee assignments for the other persons. They didn't send it to me, but I'm sure we'll have that information. The other part is we probably have seen the committee assignments for the chairs of the education, the K through 12 committee. They're doing something this year that they typically have not done in the past. Normally it's K through 12 and then it's higher ed education, which is your colleges, your universities and things of that nature. This year they've rolled it all into one. So we won't just be up against other programs, we'll be up against higher ed when it comes to budgetary supports. So I want us to all think about that when we begin having our conversations and making our points based on what we have been able to do within our district. There are a lot of areas where we may not agree with what it is that they're doing in Tallahassee, so we need to find the areas where we agree and try to enhance that conversation and build on that conversation. I'm not saying not to have the conversations about what else they could do, but we want to make sure that our students and our teachers and our support staff and our whole district comes out on top when it comes to public education. Having said that, it appears as though former Senator Corcoran is potentially being tapped. There hasn't been an appointment at this time, potentially being tapped for Commissioner of Education. And we know some of his stands in the past regarding public education. So keep that in your forethought as well when you're thinking about conversations that you would like to have or persons that you may want to communicate with on what we're doing in our district and how positive things are moving in our district. Because I think we've done a pretty good job, even with those charter schools that have not been successful in our district. We have worked to integrate those students back into their assigned schools, and I believe, in my opinion, we work very well when it comes to those applications that come before us, and we're asked to approve them on their merit. And so I just want you to kind of keep that in the forefront. I want to give out a shout out to Senator Mumford. He has always been a champion for public education. He was there during the Florida School Board Association conference. He wasn't just attending and leaving. I saw him roaming the hallways, talking to people and having conversation and dialogue, and he'll be able to take some of that information back to the committee. So I'm really excited about that. Last but not least, for me, we have a very busy time ahead of us. We have additional things to do today, but I also want to say happy holidays to each and every one of you that are here. We've had a number of students who've had some difficult times within this last month. We all get the emails about persons not feeling the value that their life represents, some having taken their own lives. We've had auto accidents from youth that don't see the value in finding things to do that can help propel them in life, but unfortunately making bad choices. And some of those bad choices have led to persons being injured in our community. And in the case of Mrs. Spates, she succumbed to her injuries from individuals that stole a car and hit her and her mom. And so I just want us to be mindful and thoughtful of that when we notice a change in a student and they are not the cheery person that they used to be, or we notice that they may be hanging with people who have influences that are not positive influences. If we see a student going down the hallway and they're by themselves consistently, and this is the holiday season, a smile and a hello will do and go a long way versus ignoring them or just thinking they're having a bad day. You can never tell what a person woke up with that morning, and you can never tell what they will go home to that evening. So if we can do something that will bring a little sunshine for someone, just by a smile or a hello or giving them 5 or 10 minutes, that literally could mean life or death for them. And I just want us to think about that. For all of the students that are out there, I'm just asking and begging you to continue to make positive choices. Sometimes it can be so tempting to do something that gives you the enjoyment for the moment, but after that moment, there comes the consequences. And as community leaders, we're always asked sometimes to step in or to change or bend the rules, or they've never done this before. And we do understand that, but we have to also take into account the victim, and we have to also take into account what our roles are as leaders in the community, and demanding that our students not just do what's best because that's the right thing to do, but to also serve as ambassadors and leaders for some of those younger kids that are coming behind them that emulate their behavior, whether it's positive behavior or negative behavior. And last but not least, if you want to do something that will make your heart really warm, as School Board Member Joanne Lentino just talked about, there are a number of children that are in foster care that don't have permanent families. They don't have forever homes, is what we call them. If you can participate by pulling an angel off of an angel tree, Eckert Connect has an angel tree, do so. If you want to go and purchase a few items, I'm working with the Dr. Carter G. Woodson African American Museum. We'll be having our annual dolls, balls, and books. We give those items to organizations in the community that help children that may not have that merry, happy Christmas. And this year we're going to send half of the items we collect to the children up in the Panhandle. And so we've worked that out with some persons to get those up there for them, because we've noticed on television some of them are still living in tents, not quite in some of the homes or the temporary shelter homes that FEMA has been able to provide in the past. So if you have a moment, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. You can go to Dollar Tree or whatever, but I can guarantee you that those children, those youth, those students will greatly, greatly appreciate it, and it will be an impact that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. Thank you. School Board Member Mr. Dudley, Coach.
All right, I won't take a lot of your time because my beautiful angelic voice is gone. I just want to briefly thank the entire organization up here. I just can't believe how much they've reached out to us, and I know that Nicole has mentioned it also, but you know, coming into a new situation and getting the material and getting us up to speed on how everything works. And Dr. Grego, thank you for you know, all that you've done. I will have to say that the people in Pinellas County are in good hands. And the brief time that I've been associated with the organization here on the upper level is been very rewarding and very gratifying, and I thank you, and I thank the general public for your confidence in electing us to this position. And if you need anything, just remember that we represent all of you, and I'm eager to start the second semester, and I'm got both feet going. You know, this is my passion. 38 years of my life I've spent as an educator, and this is kind of, I'm really looking forward to it. So I won't take any more of your time. I just want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And it's great seeing so many familiar faces up here. And with that, I'm done.
Thank you. Ms. Kane?
Thank you so much. I also wanted to thank all of the staff, the administration, Dr. Grego, and so many of you have met with us personally to get us up to date on issues in the county and throughout that we need to be aware of as we move forward making research decisions and choices that will affect our students and our parents and our community for years to come. Thank you so much to the community for your confidence in me to put that effort and that energy and that passion into every decision that is made here on the board. I look forward to working with each and every one of you in the coming years. And also, I second what Mr. Dudley said. Merry Christmas and have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you. Thank you. What beautiful comments, beautiful comments. Now we will have review of any board requests.
Madam Chair, I had no board requests recorded today.
No requests. That's your Christmas gift. All right, so following this, school board members, what normally happens at this point is we'll have we'll have an evaluation at the end of the meeting where we do pluses and minuses, what went well, what we could improve upon. And then following that, we will go ahead and move over to the workshop room, which is on the third floor, for us to have our workshop. So when I adjourn the meeting, then we leave it open for public comment for persons who want to make comments on items that were not on the agenda. Okay, all right. So I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Mr. Minetti, do we have any person signed up to speak under public comment?
Board members and Dr. Grego, we have 4 persons signed up to speak. Our first two are Lenora Faulkner and Mark Clutho.
Good morning, Dr. Grego and honorable school board members, especially the new members. I've been speaking since 2005. My allergy doctor wrote a letter for me to leave in 2003, and the school board hasn't responded to it yet, so I just keep on speaking. I'm a Florida professional educator, certified in biology, chemistry, math, science, health education, middle schools, and the gifted. In 20 years, I earned $430,000. I was super sick while I was teaching for the Pinellas County Schools. The first school was allergies, and then they sent me to a next school, which was mold, and then they sent me to Pinellas Park Middle, which building 3 was also moldy. So I couldn't breathe through my nose for 4 years, and I ended up with breast cancer in 7 of my lymph nodes, and a person on the computer, I was worried about losing my hair the next week, and he said, don't worry about that. What you have is 100% fatal. So I'm still here. So I was in a trial at Morton Plant, and I think everyone else died except me. And 3 months later, my son had a anoxic brain injury. He was out without oxygen for a very long time. He was declared brain dead at a local hospital because he didn't have insurance. They refused to treat him and let him go down to 110 pounds. My daughter realized he was in the Navy, and he's been at James A. Haley for 19 years. I've been over there every holiday for 18 years. I go over there 5 times a week, and he's been in ICU twice this year. I hire someone to take care of him 3 times a week, and I hire someone to take care of him on Tuesday so I could speak at school board, county commissioners, and if that isn't available, I go to Mass at Bay Pines, and they pray for him there, the chaplains. And one of the chaplains went over on his day off. And I am here for the students. My son doesn't speak, so I am here for the students, especially in middle school. And I am heartbroken about the failure factories in St. Pete. I adopted 300 children in Uganda, so I want to help Mr. Kapersky to repeal HB 7069. God bless you and your work.
Thank you.
Mark Lutho Largo, an email. You don't belong sitting there. You don't have any healthy schools, not a single one. And the Jacobson building will be the latest addition. Bad. Oh, this is good. Armed teachers. Bad. They will not break us. They're already broken. Board bids farewell. The superintendent said the district is a better place than it has ever been before. Oh, really? Look at the headlines. U.S. climate study has grim warning of economic risks. Data shows climate change fuels spread of wildfires across the country. Climate change is killing cedars of Lebanon. The ancient cedars of Lebanon, the symbol of the country's resilience, have outlived empires and survival of modern wars. Now global warming could finish them off by the end of the century. Coal endangers a planet unable to stop using it. Your stupid buildings demand it. Hopes of controlling emissions dim, UN says. High, dry future will mean more fires. Dire warning of climate change. Report spells bleak future. Eternal Yellowstone is changing before our eyes. Climate change is transforming America's first national park so quickly that its herds of bison, rushing rivers, forest-covered mountain ranges, and other treasured scenes may look radically different by the time today's children visit with families of their own. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, it's Yellowstone's, oh, it's not going to be pretty. And then, how about this one? Category 6, storms may get worse. So what's going to happen here in Pinellas County when you make these stupid schools? Yeah, your legacy. It is so sad. You continue to ignore science. It is pathetic. It's criminal. Yeah, you're in good shape, Superintendent.
Our next two speakers are Mike Gandolfo and Kirsten Kenty.
Good morning, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Grego and staff. I'd like to take this opportunity to address, congratulate, and welcome Coach Dudley, Mrs. Kane, and Dr. Carr as they begin their terms on the school board. I look forward to meeting with you at your earliest convenience. PCTA and PESPA considers it our mission to defend public education, and on behalf of all my brothers and sisters, I thank you for your commitment to ensuring that a free public education remains the cornerstone of our democracy. As president of PCTA, I am the district's most underutilized asset. In the course of a given school year, there's no one person in the district that speaks to, and more importantly, listens to, as many different educators from across our county. I visit at least one school each day, and teachers speak freely to me. Good administrators should find value in someone that has the pulse on how educators think and feel, and who would help things run smoothly and improve morale. If you think that my experience, my connection to the educators, and any of the resources at my disposal can assist you as you strive to make the best decisions as board members, please feel free to contact me. It has always been my desire to be considered an asset for the district. In fact, the schools with leaders that prefer collaborating with PCTA, PESPA, as opposed to viewing us as a foe, are the ones that run the very best in our district. There was a time when teachers were unafraid to speak their mind, but that time has passed with the passage of Senate Bill 736 in 2011, which allowed for teachers to have their contracts non-renewed without due process and without just cause. Now they confide in me and beg me to keep their identity anonymous for fear of retaliation. So I speak for the educators of Pinellas, and I encourage them, and on occasion, empower them to stand up for themselves. You lead a great district with a strong superintendent. I consider him a good man with a great vision, and I'm proud to count him among my friends. We are very different men, but we share the same goals for this district and the students that we serve. The game plan for getting there may differ, but with a commitment to collaboration and enough communication, we will move our district forward. Wish you all the best of luck. Thank you, and God bless.
Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Grego, and staff. I am Dr. Kirsten Kenty, parent of 2 students. I'm here to speak to you about a district policy that serves to burden families, isolate students, and is in direct conflict with the stated mission, visions, and values of this board. Zero tolerance discipline policy is a time who has come to an end. Respected agencies from the American Psychological Association to the National Education Association, along with peer-reviewed researchers, have agreed for over a decade. Zero tolerance disproportionately affects minority students. Zero tolerance feeds the school-to-prison pipeline. And most remarkably, zero tolerance does not result in safer schools. Research shows a strong link between suspension and expulsion as a discipline policy and repeated negative outcomes. That is, it leads to more suspensions and expulsions, lower graduation rates, higher dropout rates, and lower school-wide academic achievement on standardized test scores, even controlling for race and socioeconomic status. Zero tolerance discipline is a policy whose time has come to an end. It serves to further reinforce negative behavior by denying students, children, opportunities for positive socialization in school and nurtures distrust of adults. Zero tolerance denies teachers and administrators the ability to use personal judgment to be respectful, fair, and attentive in disciplinary matters, characteristics necessary to form the bonds essential for meaningful student engagement. Instead, these discipline policies deprive students, children, of the opportunity to experience the interactions that will deter negative behaviors, trust, respect, and true relationships with teachers and peers. These disproportionately harsh penalties break these relationships and further isolate struggling students, communicating that administration and staff do not care and will not help. In practice, my child is discouraged, demotivated, and sees no reason to do the work necessary to return to school. By definition, zero tolerance leaves students behind. Zero tolerance discipline is a policy whose time has come to an end. It does not make schools safe. My children obtain contraband at school and vape in the bathroom. It does not make schools effective. It does not improve a school's achievement numbers, and most importantly, it does not teach our children what we most want them to know in their hearts, that they are special and precious. It does not teach them that as adults, we will provide the appropriate structure, nurture, and safety to allow all students to grow and learn. Instead, positive discipline practices should be implemented, employing scaffolding for the at-risk students who most need it, those foster children you guys are talking about, to get them out of the school-to-prison pipeline. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Grego, for zero tolerance policy, that's something that's a state statute, correct? That's not district specific? Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so very much for coming today. Happy holidays again to each one of you and your loved ones. Be safe. We will have our pluses and minuses, our deltas here in the back, and then we'll proceed up for our workshop.